Now, how many have watched Star Trek? Well, the engine for Enterprise uses something called Antimatter. I first thought that it was sci-fi stuff, but it was in fact real. So for my capstone, I did on antimatter and its uses. First things first, what is antimatter? Well, antimatter is the opposite of matter. Both have the same mass, but the only difference we know so far is the electrical or magnetic charges of the antimatter particles are reversed. To understand that, let's start at the beginning. All matter is made up of atoms. Atoms are made of negatively charged electrons, positively charged protons, and neutrons that do not have a charge. The electron orbits a nucleus, which is made of protons and neutrons. But as you can see, antimatter is the opposite. Antimatter electrons have a positive charge, antiprotons have a negative charge, and antineutrons still have no charge. But when matter and antimatter meet, they explode or annihilate in a huge burst of energy. The amount of energy when just 1 gram of matter and antimatter touch could power 1,700,000 homes for a day. Antimatter is rarely, but is found in nature. This happens when unstable radioactive elements decompose. This happens because the atom's nucleus is unstable, meaning it can't hold itself together. Think of it like a tower that's very unstable. When it starts to fall, pieces of the tower fall off. These pieces can move at super high speeds and are sometimes antimatter. We can also make antimatter ourselves. We start by collecting particles like protons and electrons and speeding them up to very high speeds before slamming them into a block of dense material or even other high-energy particles inside a collider. This collision creates a bunch of special particles that I will not talk about, but also antimatter. This takes a lot of energy as the LHC uses 1 1/2 the electricity Westchester uses. So how is this explosive material useful for us? Well, we use something called a PET scan. A PET scan works by using tracer molecules made with unstable radioactive elements. These tracer molecules are injected into people and distribute to different parts of the body and diseased tissues, where they suck the tracers up. When the radioactive element releases antimatter, or in this case positrons, they annihilate the nearby electron and release energy that is detected by a scanner. This explosion pattern almost takes a three-dimensional picture of your body. It can therefore pinpoint where the disease is. So how can this be useful? Well, PET scans are used to see the spread of cancer in the body and check for damage after a heart attack. There are also other uses for PET scan out there too. Another use is industrial imaging. Industrial imaging finds weaknesses in matter on an atomic scale. People are racing to find out how to make it cheaper at the moment, but it would be very important. We also study antimatter in labs. These laboratories are attached to colliders. There are 30,000 colliders in the world, with the LHC being the longest, almost 27 kilometers long. One of this research is making colliding more efficient. They achieve this by making the particles skim ionized gas, better known as plasma. If you don't know what plasma is, it's the fourth state of matter seen inside the sun. This could be 1 billion times more efficient than the LHC. It could be only 2 kilometers compared to 27. CERN also has some experiments that I thought were pretty cool. One experiment's goal is to find the effect of gravity on antimatter. Another studies and compares antihydrogen with hydrogen atoms. The cool thing about antihydrogen is when it's made, there's almost no way to store it, but to cool it or make it move more slowly. They do this by using lasers. So what could be some potential uses for antimatter? Well, now comes the exciting part. So let's start off with antimatter vehicle engine. So how will these work? Well, let's start off by having a few milligrams of antimatter in a compact space where the engine moves small amounts of it to harness the microexplosions to power the vehicle. The only problem is if the storage fails, then you and everyone in a town's range is a first-class seating to an atomic bomb. Space travel could also be in the line to be completely changed by antimatter. If we can use antimatter for space travel, we can make some very fast spacecraft. To put that to scale, that orange thing is all fuel. But by using antimatter, it could just be 10 grams of antiprotons to power this ship to Mars. And this one's going to the moon. And it would propel the ship at 72% the speed of light. This is how antimatter is used for us, in labs, and potentially. Go to my blog to learn more.